Hi there, this is Nija, and you are listening to the Create Yourself podcast. I always want to say good morning, but I forget that it's probably not morning time for everybody who listens to me, and that's totally fine. But I do want you guys to keep in mind it is morning for me, and I'm giving you just a little bit of context because of today's discussion. So it is December 2nd at the time of me recording this, which means that we are at the end of the year. Again, just giving some context, so it doesn't really matter what time it is of the year whenever you're listening to this, but I had been getting the intuitive download that I wanted to starting my day one with creation. I made a podcast episode about that, how my intuition was like, why don't you start the day with creation? So this morning, the first thing I do was I made my coffee at about, I don't know, 6:30, almost 7 o'clock. And then I turned on an audiobook. So something new that I'm trying to do is read either first thing in the morning or at some point of the day. But why I appreciate reading first thing in the morning is because I'm setting the environment for my day, which is really important for me. I forget who I was watching, but they talk about like the importance of your environment, and not just your physical environment, but also like your mental environment, and how your environment is shaping everything. It's shaping the things that you do, the way that you behave, the habits that you have. And so one way that I'm trying to take control of my life and take control of my day is first thing in the morning, I want to read to control the mental environment of my mind and get better intellectually, teach myself something. I was on a binge not too long ago. I know, little side tangent. You guys know I like to ramble. Of working on entrepreneurship, and for a little bit of time, how I got into the habit of waking up and reading first thing was one of my coaches and mentors. She said that actually, I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what she said. Oh, no, I do. She talked about the significance of waking up and having that power hour. Like as soon as you wake up or close to when you wake up, having that power hour where you get your undistracted work done. So it could be like, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours that you carve out first thing in the morning. Or even she suggests like waking up at like, now I'm not telling you guys I do this, but sometimes I do. Waking up at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and like just get straight into work. Like just open up your computer and do your admin work. Or if you're trying to, I don't know, write a book or something, waking up first thing and putting in, I don't know, 100 words, 200 words, 300 words, 500 words towards that book. Or if you're a blogger or a YouTuber content creator, maybe you wake up first thing and you start writing your YouTube script. Or I know one thing that I need to do today is edit some videos. So just like waking up and doing the most important task in your day first thing, if that calls to you. So sometimes I had been doing that. I got into this groove of like really working hard on my business and waking up and reading Alex Hermosi first thing in the morning. So I was reading his books, $100 Million Offer, and his other book, $100 Million Leads. So just some book suggestions if you're getting into entrepreneurship. But saying all that to say, so I'd gotten in this groove of waking up and going straight to my mentors. So he was like my mentor for like learning about finances and building my business and all the fun things. And so I went through that phase. And then I went through the phase of binging Russell Brunson and reading his books, .com secrets and expert secrets, blah, blah, blah. Why am I telling you all of this? It has everything to do with your environment, not your physical environment, but your mental environment, the environment that you're putting your brain in, which inevitably dictates what you do in your physical environment. And so saying all this to say, the book that I picked up this morning and started reading was Atomic Habits, because we are rearing at the end of the year, and I'm like, okay, everybody and their mom has read this book. I want to read this book, and then maybe, start the end of the year implementing some really great habits so that it's not a transition come January. I'm already in the flow of doing the new habits. So I am reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, like I just said. And I wanted to share some things that I learned if you guys are interested. I know usually my podcast episodes is more about, I don't know what I talk about in my podcast. But I'm going to share some things that I learned today as I feel it is relevant, because this is the Create Yourself podcast, all about how to create your dream life and turn into your best version and be your dream self. And so you need good habits to be your dream self. I don't know if you guys know this or not. And if you stick around, I did pull a card. You guys know how I like to do. Okay, I love a good intuitive message. So I'm going to share what notes I took this morning from my reading, and then we're going to jump into some intuitive messages. So the first drop that I got from listening to Atomic Habits this morning, by the way, guys, Alex Hermosi is the one who put me on. I buy the book and I also listen to the audiobook. So I'm letting the audiobook play while I'm following the words of the book, the physical book, with my eyes. Side note, if you want to get better at reading, or like get through books faster, like if you feel like you're a slow reader or it takes you forever to finish physical books, play the audiobook while you follow the physical book with your eyes, or just play the audiobook and go on a walk in the morning. Okay, anyway. So the first drop that I received this morning was to focus on your systems and not your goals. This is kind of a game changer for me because I am a goals girly. I love talking about goals and creating goals and all things goal related, but I am learning that it's not about the goals, because the goals equal the output. And you don't really have control over the output. All you have control over is the input, aka the system, the physical action steps that you're doing to create the life of your dreams. And so his advice is to focus on systems, not goals. Now, how do you create a system? This is really funny. I was watching TikTok the other day, and I heard this girl say something, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely implementing that in my life. She said, let me see if I can find it because I wrote it down. Her signature routine, creating a signature routine. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I love that. That sounds so juicy. And I'm like, I want to create a signature routine, and this can be my system. And so what do we mean when we talk about like a signature routine? Like, I don't know. So like how I said, I woke up today and it was like 6:30. I started my coffee and I went straight to the audiobook or reading. And then I know after I finish my reading, I go take my dog on like a 30-minute walk, and I'll probably listen to a podcast from my mentor or something like that. So signature routine, something that you can rely on, that you'll do every single day or just consistently, and you know it's going to give you a certain type of results. So I loved the sound of that. I can't remember the content creator who said that. Like I said, I was on TikTok and I heard her say that, and I was like, ooh, I'm stealing that, my signature routine. So saying that, because I will be creating a signature routine. And yeah, you guys should create one too. Anyway, so that was the first nugget, focusing on your systems. The next one was identity shifting. I love this topic about identity shifting. This is the Create Yourself podcast, right? And so if you're not currently who you desire to be, you've got to identity shift. You can't be something that you're not. You can't have the things that you want without becoming the person who has those things. And so identity shifting is like the secret sauce. And in the book Atomic Habits, he talks about how identity shifting is who you are becoming. The habits are what you're doing to shift your identity. Okay, so instead of, again, focusing on the goal, let's focus on who you have to become at that end point. If the goal is the output or the result, who are you at the point of the result? For example, let's say like your goal is to be a successful YouTuber or something like that. You identity shift into somebody who is a successful YouTuber, or somebody who is a content creator, somebody who eats, sleeps, and breathes content creation. That is the identity shift. Therefore, you pick up the habits of somebody who is a successful content creator, and that is how you become that version of yourself that you want to be. Anyway, and so identity shifting. I want you to ask yourself, who do I need to become to have X, Y, and Z? Who do I need to become to be a successful entrepreneur? Who do I need to become to make $10,000 a month in my business? Who do I need to become to buy my dream house, my dream car? Who do I need to become to meet my dream partner and get married? All the things is all about identity shifting. So again, we're moving away from the idea of goals and moving into systems, habits, and identity shifting. Okay. Highly suggest you guys read the book. I'm like literally only in the first, I don't know where I am in the book. According to the audiobook, I'm an hour and something in, and this is like a 7-hour book. Don't you guys love audiobooks? You can like finish an entire book in one day if you just let it play in the background. Anyway, so last few things I'm going to get into the intuitive messages that I got. So focus on the time and location that you will be performing the habit. So if you're trying to identity shift and become the next version of yourself, or become, whoever you're trying to shift into, you focus on the habits. So what does that version of yourself do? But then also, to make it even easier, focus on the time and location in which you do those habits. So for me, if I'm like, okay, I am identity shifting into somebody who loves to read, I'm a reading girly, right? And so to make that habit easier, I must determine the time in which I'm going to execute that habit, and then pick a location. This has everything to do with the environment. So if I say, you know what, from now on at 7 a.m., I want to make sure I have a book open or an audiobook playing, that's the time in which I'm going to execute the habit. And then to make it easier in my environment, maybe I pick a special chair in my house and I sit the book next to it. Or maybe, I have a nice candle and a nice place where I'm going to lay down and read the book. So I just make it really easy for me. Make your habits really easy for you. Okay, so that it's easy to shift into the version of yourself that you want to become. All right, let's talk about some of these intuitive messages. So the card that I pulled today was the King of Pentacles, and I feel like this fits really well with this conversation of identity shifting, who you are shifting into. Okay, so for those of you guys who are not familiar with the tarot, the King of Pentacles, I really, really, really love when this card shows up. You guys know how I feel about the kings in the tarot, big daddy energy. So the King of Pentacles represents wealth and generosity. But when I pulled this card, I got the download that everybody wants to be the King of Pentacles, meaning everybody wants to have the money, the house, the cars. Everybody wants to be generous and big baller energy. Like, this is the energy of the King of Pentacles, just somebody who is very secure financially and with his resources, very stable, very emotionally mature, very solid, right? Everybody wants to be the King of Pentacles, but nobody wants to do the things that the King of Pentacles has to do. And this goes back to this conversation of like me reading the book Atomic Habits, right? And understanding this idea of identity shifting and who you have to shift into to get the things that you want, to become who you want to be. Everybody wants the finish line. Everybody wants what goes along with getting the goal or achieving the goal, but nobody is willing to go through that journey. So that for those of you guys who don't know, the Pentacle suit in the tarot is the slowest moving suit in the tarot because it is earth energy. So think about the difference between air energy, which is fast moving energy, and earth energy, which is slow moving energy. The way you can understand this is like if you put a seed in the ground, how long is it going to take for that seed to germinate and become a plant? and to grow into a tree and to bear fruit. It takes a really long time. I don't know if anybody's ever gardened or something, but I have like this pepper plant, and I've been growing this thing for like a year, and it's only ever produced one piece of fruit. So it takes a really long time. Again, this King of Pentacles energy, it takes a long time to become who you desire to be. Okay, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take you putting in the reps. It's going to take you identity shifting. It's going to take you bouncing back from the old identity to the new identity, from the old identity to the new identity, until you can be solid in the new identity. So again, everybody wants to be the King of Pentacles. Everybody wants the things that the King of Pentacles gets to have: the house, the car, the money, the family, all the good stuff, all the juicy stuff in life. Everybody wants that, but nobody is willing to take that slow, long journey. Even me sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to take the slow, long journey. I want the microwave, quick result. Give me the fast thing. So this just puts a lot into perspective when we talk about this idea of identity shifting and who you're shifting into. You have to be willing to be somebody who plays the long game of putting in the reps to get the life that you desire. So that is, I don't know, those are my thoughts today. That's where I'm at. These are some new habits I'm creating so that I can be my dream self and my dream version. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about, I don't know, I feel myself becoming more mature in a positive way as a result of educating myself in this way. I feel as if, like, growing up and going to school and everything like that, I was never really into reading. In fact, I didn't really like reading, so I thought. But then, like, I became an adult and, like, started picking out the things that I get to read and, like, the things that I'm interested in. And now I'm realizing, oh my gosh, reading is actually kind of fun. And like, reading can really upgrade your life. And like, reading is like brilliant. What is that saying? They're like, if somebody wanted to hide something, then put it in a book, because most people are unwilling to read or unwilling to educate themselves. So major key, if you're trying to upgrade your life, you upgrade your mind, and you do that by reading books and absorbing information and gaining knowledge. And if you're not gaining information and knowledge and like putting your mind to work, I would not be surprised as to why your life is not changing. But again, I'm not an expert on that, because I'm telling you from an adventurer perspective. And when I say that, I was reading the book .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, and he talks about the attractive character. And like, there is a hero archetype and an adventurer archetype so like these different archetypes. And I personally identify with the adventurer archetype. Somebody who doesn't have all the answers, but is willing to go out, get the information, and then come back with her findings. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing today. From reading this Atomic Habits this morning, and just sharing some thoughts of where my mental headspace is today and what I'm doing to upgrade my life in the new year, starting now. So I want to title this episode You 2.0, Time to Identity Shift. And in creating and picking new habits, I really feel like that's exactly what we're doing. We're identity shifting. And that's what Create Yourself podcast is all about, becoming your dream version so you can create your dream life. All right, guys, that is it for this episode. My name is Nija Sym. This is the Create Yourself podcast. Until next time, keep creating your dream life, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.